Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey, hello there. This is Heather Hope, Law of Attraction, business coach, mentor, teacher, inspirational writer, and speaker, you name it. Welcome back. Okay, so I just took the last few days off from the podcast, so let me get myself back into the groove. I got to tell you, doing these last 7 episodes, I have had the biggest blast. Like, do people ever say that anymore? Thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for leaving the comments down below, whether you're watching this or listening to this on the podcast on Anchor or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts, or from YouTube. Thank you so much. Please leave comments as long as they're positive. That would be awesome. I'm here to help. So I'm loving the comments. Thank you guys so much. So let's dive into this. Let me pull up. I was doing some organizing. Oh my gosh, I had to close like so many tabs this morning just to get my computer to want to do anything today. And that took a while. You know how you go through tabs on your computer and you have to kind of go through them just to make sure like you don't click out of something you really want to be looking at. And you have to make sure that you have, oh, let me get the volume back up. Is everything, why is that not working? Sorry, guys. Okay, so that took a while because of course I have to look at stuff and bookmark stuff, and I really love having like all my pages up so it's easy. But then after a while, you know how your computer just kind of bogs down so you have to close out a lot of it. I got it down to I think 3 tabs out of probably 20 tabs open at least from like last night and this weekend. Okay, so let's dive into today's topic. Let me go to that tab. September 8th. Excuse me. Okay, so if you're just joining me, what this podcast is, at least the daily, I'm going to tell you that we're going to have more episodes because we've got the daily episodes going along with the daily book. The book is, I got a bunch done this morning. Just while I was like trying to meditate, this thing popped in my head and I got on my phone and I did a bunch of things and I got a lot of stuff done with my book, just sitting in my meditation room, like supposedly meditating. I was supposed to be doing that. But so I felt pretty productive already this morning. Okay, so each day we're going along in the book. It's not out yet, but it's getting closer to getting handed over to the editor, and then it'll be published. It'll be self-published at first, and then it's going to be published with a major publisher. I'm very excited with that. But so it's our daily stuff, our daily quotes, messages, whatever you call it. And then I've got a bunch of ideas for a bonus, like probably a bonus episode, maybe every week, of like personal manifestations. A friend of mine was talking about me interviewing people. I'm not sure about that one. I'm letting that one sink in. We'll see, because it's already a lot of episodes. So let's jump in. September 8th. This one is another short and sweet. And it is, you always want to go for what you genuinely want and not what you think you can have. Like I said, I never go through these before I jump on this podcast. I am not the person to prepare ahead of time. It's so crazy, right? I see all these people out there writing scripts and trying to make like, what am I going to say? Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? And I can't do that. Like I'm in the flow type of person. Like I have to just start, and then I know, like I have enough confidence in, like, now I understand the whole like getting into the flow, getting into the zone, getting into the zone, which is like the vortex. The zone is being one with source, being one, being in alignment, right? Being one with infinite intelligence. So, like, I know that if I'm going to talk about this subject, which I do all the time, there's not a single day that I don't talk about this stuff. It's just my husband should be writing a book with all the stuff that I tell him. But so I I can just talk. It's just one of those things where it's like, give me, all I needed was the prompt, and there we go. So, anyway, you always want to go for what you genuinely want and not what you think you can have. Okay, so let's dive into this because this is a really, really good one. This is something that I have to remind myself quite often. So you can have what you want, right? That was a previous episode. That was probably this past weekend. I can tell you, actually, let me go through here. That was probably yesterday. No. I'm just flipping through September 3rd. Go back to that one. If you want it, you can have it. Okay, so there's some really great points of why you want to put your focus and attention and trust and knowing on what it is that you genuinely want. What is it that you really want? Because if you're like, no, I can't, I don't know, that seems too big. So I'm going to go for something that is lesser than. It's going to be the smaller house. It's going to be the used car. It's going to be whatever it is, right? It's going to be the lower price point in my business. I'm going to go with the low end because I just can't see myself. Okay, so we'll get back to some of that. But when it's something that you think, if you're going after, that sounds kind of aggressive, but it's not. If you're focusing on the things that you think you can have and not what you genuinely want, the energy won't be there. You won't manifest anything. Does that make sense? Like the energy won't be there. So if you're focusing on something that you genuinely want, isn't there excitement there? Isn't there like, oh gosh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Instead of like, instead of something that's a lot lesser, just because you think you can get that. Does that make sense? So think about the things, ask yourself when you're focusing on something or when you're doing something in your business, when you're, establishing a price point, if you're doing something or manifesting a house or whatever it is, right? If you are second guessing what you genuinely want and you're looking at things that are lesser than just because you think that you can get those easier or it's just not as hard, I want you to just ask yourself, what is it that I really want? Like genuinely, deep down, do I really want? So this is the soul searching a little bit, because so often we can kind of get in these moods, like it could be, our whole life, of I'm just not really that person that is able to get to that level or can have those nicer things or whatever that sort of thing is. A lot of people say it's self-worth, whatever it is. But one thing that we do, I talked a little bit, I think yesterday, about my program, the Soul Aligned Business. One of the things is about the Soul Aligned Business is about really tapping into what you genuinely want. Because at the end of the day, like with the business, I think I talked about this yesterday, about, is it really what I want? Because I have a million ideas. And sometimes I'll go down the road with an idea and then I'm like, you know what? I'm creating a lot of work for myself. And I know myself really well that I don't want to work that much. Like, I love working and I love being productive. I love putting out a lot of stuff, but I don't want to get myself in a corner where it has to be like that it becomes this big thing ongoing. Yeah, I'm doing a daily podcast. That sounds kind of crazy. And I almost went to, I was contemplating doing a live daily podcast because I love doing Facebook Lives. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be traveling a bit. Like we're planning a trip to Mexico to be down there for a couple months, and then we're going to be in California, and then we'll be back. And it's like, do I really want to? Is my lifestyle going to be in alignment, or if my business is my business going to be in alignment with my lifestyle? That's something that we look at inside my program because it's so vital. Because I can create a lot of work for myself and then get burned out. I've done it. I've done it a few times. And I'm like, okay, so I've learned my lesson. Don't go too crazy with, doing so many things. If it's your personality, if it doesn't fit your personality, you gotta watch that. And does it fit how you want to really live your life? Okay, so you always want to go for what you genuinely want and not what you think you can have. The work is to get your belief system on board with what you genuinely want, not the other way around. And I see it all the time with going the other way around. So you have to establish, what do I really want? And then it's just your job. That's all it is. It's your job to get your mind, your belief system. Oh, I got to get rid of my notification or my Facebook. Let me get rid of that noise. How annoying is that? Okay, no more noise. It's just that's the work that you have to do is get line up your mind with what you really want. So anytime you catch yourself downgrading from what you really want, ask yourself, what do I really want? I do this quite often because I kind of find like I'm happy with a lot of things. And then it's like, well, I could have this too, or something better. I could have this thing that's better. And then the price point might be double. Say it's looking for a house. Like I'm looking for a house in Mexico to rent. And, there's some really amazing 2-bedroom homes that are really, really, really inexpensive, right? And then there's some really a lot bigger, a lot nicer homes that, cost 2, 3, 4 times more. But they're still a really, really good value. Like really insanely good. It would be like 4 times pricier here in the US. So anyway, sometimes it can be kind of difficult of deciding, for me anyway. I don't know if this is the same with other people, but for me, I can have a hard time deciding what I really want because it's all good. It's all good. So I guess the thing would be like, okay, well, it comes down to, well, like the amenities and the location and, how long we're going to be there. And it can come down to how much do I really want to spend? I don't really like to look at the money portion of it because the money is just the money. And I know I can have whatever I want. But sometimes, it's like, sometimes do I need to spend this much? Or would it be really fun to have a really amazing place that costs very little? You know what I mean? So, like, I love a bargain. Like, I love a bargain. I love finding sales. I don't really search for them, but I love when they come to me. You know what I mean? Like, when you go through a store and you find a clearance section and, like, the thing that you wanted for a while that you just haven't bought yet is on clearance. You're like, thanks, higher, inner guidance or inner being or the universe. Thank you for guiding me here for a deal, because the universe knows I love a deal. Like it's clearly established that I love a deal. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun to save money. So when it happens, I get really excited about it. It's really cool. So it's one of those things. So, when you have a lot of choices and they're all good, it can be kind of difficult to choose. Well, what do I really want? And it would just have to come down to the certain like aspects of whatever it is. Like maybe there's a better location, maybe whatever the details are, right? And then you could, take it to the money portion. I try to leave the money out of the portion. Like I've been, all the times I've went looking for houses in different areas of I just love that I just checked the time on this and it was 14:44. So 444, they're all good. So one of the Abraham Hicks videos I listened to this morning was talking about how get really excited every time those things line up. Get like really excited because I see them all the time. All the triple digits, double digits work for me too. The triple digits, the 111, or the quadruple digits. You guys know what I'm talking about. And anyway, back to the money. So I look for houses, and the realtors always ask, what are you looking to pay? And I typically don't really have an amount. I don't usually have an amount. I'm kind of like, I remember my husband and I went and looked at houses in one of the nicest neighborhoods of Phoenix, Paradise Valley. And it was our first trip as a couple to go look at, what are those things called? Open houses. It's a couple of years ago. And I'm like, let's go. Let's just go. I had never done that in PV because the houses typically start at $1 million and they're up multiple millions of dollars. So let's go. And so we go and we check out everyone that we could go to. And we're just telling the agents, we're just kind of looking to see what we like as a couple. And I said, I don't really have a price point or a price range that I'm looking at, I'm like, we're just kind of like looking to see what we like. And, we both ended up liking the same 3 houses in the same, and so we kind of got a feel of what the price point was for that area, of what we like. But so for realtors, like if I end up working with a realtor right now looking for a home in Mexico, it's really, there is no price point. That's how that's how, like, I just don't do budgets anymore. It's just because I know that I can manifest the money. The money will be here. The money is here. And I just know that if I want it, I can have it. And so, let that be, a vision for you. If it isn't already, that, taking the money out of the equation and just looking at what you really want. Looking at what you really want, not what's in like your price point or your, So it's going to come down to whatever feels the best. Whatever's the best location, whatever's the best amount of space, all of those, the best view because it's on the lake. And that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to what fits us the best with our criteria. And then we'll look at the price and be like, do we want to pay this? You know what I mean? So there we go. Okay, so today was, you always want to go for what you genuinely want and not what you think you can have. Take that in. Ask yourself, do I really want this? Because if you don't want it, if you don't really want it, you're not going to have the energy for it. Like, you're not going to put the energy into it. Your focus isn't going to be very strong. Your attention's not going to be very strong. And when you really want something, there's, great desire there. So go for what you really want. Okay, guys, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Let me know down in the comment section if you catch yourself, if you have caught yourself, or you're going to start catching yourself on asking yourself, is this what I really want? Or if I'm just focusing on this because I think I can get it, but it's not really what I want. Let me know. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.